score
Hey.
from Arrowhead Stadium. Your Kansas City Chiefs, 23, the Houston Texans, 14, in a divisional round slugfest, where your Kansas City Chiefs defense really stood up and stood tall. Yes, the Houston Texans dominated the line of scrimmage, but your Kansas City Chiefs stood tall and persevered when they had to most. Once again, my guest on War Chant Wrap-Up via Starcade Media, my co-anchor. He's not my guest. He's the man that makes it all happen. You know him, you love him. The 21st pick out of the 1991 NFL Draft by your Kansas City Chiefs. Number 44 in your programs, number 22 in your hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, Harvey Williams. Harvey,
What's up, my brother?
What'd you think of today's game, buddy?
Man, I live in Houston. That wasn't even close. 23-14, Kansas City came out. We came out, played, big boy football, bully football, and they came out, kicked ass. The defense, I don't know how many sacks they had tonight. 8 sacks. Yeah, I mean, it looked like they playing against a little league football team, man. Playing against a young quarterback and a young coach. Texans didn't have nothing. They didn't have nothing to show tonight, and on to next week. So that's how I look at it, man. It was entertaining when it first started, and then number 15 and 87 started doing their thing, and to me, it wasn't even a close game.
Right. Well, what I want to ask you is, when you see how the game unfolded, we anticipate before the game starts, we think about how the Chiefs can be successful. We can think about, dream of all these scenarios, and we're going to talk about the positives as well as the negatives, Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
You see how the game unfolded. When you saw that it was only, when you saw 13-12 near the end of the third quarter, what were you thinking?
Shaggy, I just don't think, the score and me watching the game was two different things. When a game is close and you think the other team that you're playing that obviously that can come back and make a difference. I never felt that way against the Texans, man. I mean, maybe if they was playing against Buffalo or Baltimore or the Bengals, because you got Burrow on the other side. I just didn't feel like today that the Texans was a threat. I mean, it came out in the first 2 or 3 series, they looked like they was gonna bring that heat, bring that funk, bring some smoke. But after that, man, to me, the game wasn't that close. I mean, up front, I know we've been having problems on our offensive line up front for Kansas City, but the Texans line looked awful today. I mean, they look like a man amongst boys out there, like they playing against a little league cheerleader team. So, great win. It was, Kelsey did his thing today. He made about four big ass plays when he needed to. I call him old man Kelsey. Look like he looked like he's 25 or 24 years old. He looked young. I mean, he looked good. He looked like he smelled good, and he was just doing his thing, man. So I'm a Kelsey fan. You know how I feel about Mahomes, but I just today I don't think the game was close to that. I really don't.
All right, we got some followers here. First, I want to wish a happy belated birthday to Tony Fuentes, a follower of ours. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday, Tony.
What's up, Tony?
And Carl McNabb went to the game today. He was a big fan of ours. He sent us some shouts. He was out there raising hell. Shouts to Carl. And if you guys want to continue to chime in to our show, feel free to do so. But first, we got to talk about our guest, Billy Jones. We had Billy Jones as our guest, and he was looking forward to coming on the show. I called him about 25 minutes ago, and he was here in Kansas City, partying his ass off, having the time of his life. He was at the game, headed to his condo. He said when I was talking to Billy Jones about 25 minutes ago, I thought he was in the Chiefs locker room because he was bouncing off the wall. He was bouncing off the wall celebrating this Chiefs victory. Harvey is going to share what he knows about Billy Jones. He's played with Billy Jones for 3 years. Harvey, what can you tell our viewers that Billy Jones is probably going through right now?
Oh, bro, man, Bill Jones was a teammate of mine. He was, he was a mentor. He was a badass. He kicked ass, and he played hard. He partied hard, and if he was I talked to him about 2 days ago, and he told me he was coming to Kansas City. Then when he said he was going to be on the show, I was like, yeah, okay. So you talked to him earlier. I know he probably was full of that oil, and we used to call that super unleaded. So I know he probably just bouncing off the walls right now. So I know he's feeling good. And if he rolling around with Barry Word and that old crew, bro, you probably won't hear from Bill till about 2 years from now, dog. So
well, I appreciate the fact that he answered the phone in his full euphoria, saying that he was at the game and he's headed back to his condo. He could be stuck in traffic for all we know right now. We're not going to. I'm not going to.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold. You say he got a condo in Kansas City?
Yeah, he's going to a condo.
I thought you said because he lives here in Houston. So if he got a condo in Kansas City, I'm snitching. I'm telling. I'm gonna tell his wife because no, I'm just playing.
But this victory meant a lot for Billy Jones. I know when you're at Arrowhead, when you're watching, and I speak for you, Harvey, as well, and I want you can add your points. And we're going to get to our viewers. Feel free to keep commenting, baby. I see your comments rolling in. When you're a former player, Harvey, and you're at Arrowhead being caught up in this, I mean, if you were at this game, you would probably be feeling the same emotion as Billy Jones is feeling right now. Would you say?
Oh man, yeah. I mean, like like I said, if you cut me open, man, I got red and gold, and along with that purple and gold, and I'm a fan, man, and I just every time Kansas City is on, I'm watching them. If the Raiders are on, I'm watching them. LSU's on, so I'm really a fan. So when Kansas City's winning, I feel like I'm winning because they're part of my life. The Hunt family, gave me an opportunity to draft me in the first round to be part of that organization, and I'm still part of that organization. So, I'm more determined, more, I get really, really excited when they playing, and I just, if they'd have got their ass whipped, I think I'd be in a depression right now. But, on to the next game, man. They look damn good today. I just don't understand why they started Pacheco and not starting Hunt. I just don't understand that move, but yeah, I know I sound like I'm rambling, but I just little things that I just pick out. I just don't understand that move.
Right. John Harrison says, let me see. He says, Furious George was relentless. He had 3 sacks. He was causing havoc all game long. Tara Pearson adds in, Furious George. L.A. Brock, she adds in and says, good contest. Texans showed up. Good run, Texans. So, what can you say about the Texans game? I mean, they played better this time than they did 3.5 weeks ago. What do you think of the Texans game plan coming in? Kansas City just got so, Andy Reid is the X factor, man, along with Mahomes. And, like I just said earlier, a few minutes ago, when you got a young coach, like D'Amico Ryan, and you got a young quarterback, man, and, you playing against, the Super Bowl champs trying to three-peat, that's gonna be a hard pill to swallow, man. So it came up, they put up a little bit of fight, then Big Brother started whooping that ass and told them to get back on the porch. And I just don't think the game, you watching the game, I know what the score is saying, but I'm looking what's going on up front. And Spags was doing his thing. I mean, to get 8 sacks in one game, man, that's a recipe for disaster for the Texans. So to me, they had no chance. It was like Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran, no mas. I just don't think it was close today. I really do. Elizabeth Van Druff Fryman says, great game. Our man Kenneth Caldwell said 7 straight AFC Championship games for Patrick Mahomes as a Kansas City Chiefs starter. Harvey, this is every time we talk about Patrick Mahomes, we talk about things we use the word unprecedented. We use the word not usually. We use when we're talking about Patrick Mahomes today, Patrick Mahomes tied Joe Montana's playoff victory record at 16. Harvey, you played with Joe Montana. You got to know Joe Montana. You had him and his lovely wife at your house during the offseason going into 1993. Patrick Mahomes just turned 29 in September. When you see what this kid has done, now he's tied Joe Montana and he's only 29.
That's scary.
What does that tell you? Every single season he's been the starting quarterback. your Kansas City Chiefs are in the AFC Championship game 7 times in a row.
Right.
What does that tell you, Harvey, about Patrick?
Man, he's a superstar. He's iconic. Everybody talking about how cool. I don't know. We got people on here. The quarterback Joe Namath that played for the Jets. They talk about how cool he was. To me, Mahomes is on a whole nother level, man. Brady, I mean, as great as Brady was, man, Brady can't even hold a candle to him. That's how great he is. And I'm just not blowing smoke up his ass, but I keep telling you, Shaggy, when they close the books, when it's all said and done, man, this kid is gonna be the greatest quarterback that ever walked the earth, man. And we're so spoiled, watching him, every week. It's just like, to us, it's no big deal what he does, and everything that he does on the football field. From throwing the football, behind his back, no look passes, the way he commands the game and way he takes over the game. To me, he reminds me of Michael Jordan. He can take the game over anytime he wants to, and we watching greatness, man. We really are.
Kurt Thacker I was yelling for Hunt too, Harvey. Kurt Thacker's a great guy, big fan of the show. Appreciate you, Kurt. Well, when it was time to take time off the clock in the fourth quarter, it seemed like, in a nutshell, and we're going to break down specifics here in a bit. In a nutshell, would you say the Chiefs went out today and did more not to lose rather than go out there to win? Like, when you look at the overall view, it seemed like they were real conservative. Like, with 5 minutes left in the game, it's 4th and 1 at the Texans' 9-yard line. The Chiefs needed 2 scores to go up 11. The Chiefs didn't hesitate. Get Bucker out there. I mean, there wasn't like, well, let's take the time. Let's act like we're going to go for it and try to drum offsides, yada, yada. There was just like, nope, we're going up 11 with 5 minutes left. What did you think about that call, Harvey? Was it more important for you to go up by 11 with 5 minutes left, or did you feel like the Chiefs should have went for it on 4th and 1 up by 8?
No, I think they did by kicking that field goal, man. It was business as usual. I mean, we're gonna do what we need to do. If we need to take some risks, then we'll do that. But I don't think it would. I'd have did the same thing. I'd have kicked that field goal, and it just, to me, the game was never in jeopardy. To me, it wasn't even close, even though when it was 12-13, and the Texans missed that extra point. I just felt like, Kansas City can turn it on, and anytime they want to. If they need to be out, it's like running 100 meters. They run it fast enough just to win the race. And here in the next couple of weeks, man, whoever for the AFC Championship game, if it's going to be Buffalo or Baltimore, to me that's scary to me, because both them teams are heavy hitters. They're not going to be playing around. Both of those teams are not scared of Kansas City, and I'm looking forward to next week, man. So. Buckle your stuff, tighten your stuff on. It's going to be a hard-hitting game. A lot of people going to be getting knocked out. A lot of helmets, a lot of headaches. A whole lot of stuff going to be happening next week. So I'm looking forward to that game. But today, it was business as usual. They did what they need to do. They did just a little bit to do what they need to do to win the game, and that's how I took it today, just watching that football game.
That was Andy Reid's 300th career win and counting playoffs. Thank you, John Harrison. What do you think about Andy Reid, Harvey? What does that stat tell you from Mr. John Harrison?
Stud. I mean, when you say Belichick, I mean, he to me, he's on that level. To me, he's a couple of notches above Belichick. And you remember how great Belichick was, man. I don't know how many Super Bowls he won with Brady. I think with 7. Then I think he won some Super Bowls with the Giants and I think, I don't know, another team, but those two names going to be in history, going to be in the history books when it's all said and done.
What do you think about today's game? I know we don't usually talk about the commentators, but M. Evram says, I guess no one saw the forearm to the head when Mahomes boy was sliding. Aikman and Buck was whining about that roughing the passer call. What'd you think? Did you think that they were too negative against the Chiefs?
Man, I think, and this is just my opinion. If as a quarterback, if you're going to run out of bounds, run out of bounds. I'm talking about the one when he was going to the sidelines, he stopped and went back into the field. To me, I thought it was a bad call. I think it puts a lot of pressure on defenses now, guys, especially when guys going to hit quarterbacks. And I just think in the offseason they need to change that rule. If you're going out of bounds and you act like you're going out of bounds, then you turn back into the field. Then They did what they had to do, and to me, they both of them missed it. They didn't even really hit him. But then the first call that he got hit in the chest. I mean, I know he's a great quarterback, but I just think it puts a lot of pressure on the defense to, when you're running that fast and you that big and you tell a defensive guy how to hit a guy a certain way. To me, I think that's just a recipe for getting people paralyzed and different things like that, especially and I'm an offensive guy, but I just think that just puts a lot of pressure on the defensive guys on that side of the ball by doing that.
Do you think Joe Buck and we talk about Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, but let's be honest, Harvey. To their point, the world is sick of the Chiefs. They are tired of the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. They hate us because they ain't us. Obviously, we're the villains now. So, do you feel like that drives $1 million announcers like Troy Aikman and Joe Buck to be like, "Oh man, why are you giving the Chiefs the call?" Do you think they're buying into that? We're sick of the Chiefs momentum.
Man, I'm gonna tell you this: as great as Troy Aikman was, when you start talking about, just think about, because everybody got egos, right? Troy Aikman was nice. He was, and to me, he'd be in my top 10. But you really think he can hold a candle to Mahomes? Not even close, man. And Troy was great. Can you imagine sitting in the booth and you seeing this kid do what he does? It's like comparing Bruce Lee to Chuck Norris. I mean, like it's no comparison. So people gonna hate on Kansas City, man. I mean, they the world champs. They kick a lot of ass and take a lot of names, and everybody gonna be hating. And I love people hating on me. So they do this three-peat this year, man. That's gonna be. You think people mad right now? They really gonna be mad if Kansas City wins another championship.
Harvey, back in 2019, speaking of Troy Aikman, he is soft-spoken and he doesn't call anybody out. In 2019 season, somebody tagged Troy Aikman in a tweet, and I wish I had it here. Troy Aikman commented to that tweet saying, "Let me know when Patrick Mahomes has as many Super Bowls as me." Well,
no, he didn't.
Yes, he
did. He really?
This was back before Mahomes won a ring. Well, now Mahomes has got 3, and let's do our math for Troy Aikman. He's got 3. So now Patrick Mahomes has just as many rings as Troy Aikman. That's not a slam on his play, but it was Aikman. He got sick of the Mahomes hype in 2019, and now they both have 3 rings. So, I'm
gonna tell you something. Mahomes could get another 4.
Yeah,
realistically, 4. So another 4. So yeah.
Kurt Thacker says Troy can suck it. I remember him down talking Pat back in the day. Yes, saying it was already. Oh, we got Bill Jones live. Let's see how the phone call goes, Harvey.
All right.
Hey, what's going on, Billy? Bill. What? I mean, there's a lot of people. A lot of people are yelling. Okay. Hold on, Harvey. Give me a second. I'm going to see.
Okay. You going to stick him in? Yeah.
Billy. Hey, are you ready? Hey, Harvey. I mean, Barry. I mean, Billy. Hey, are you there? Live TV. You got to love the internet.
You got to love this, man.
Hey, Billy. Billy, can you hear me?
You sound like Walter Cronkite, man. Come on.
All right, we're going to have to let him go. There was a lot of people there partying. It sounds like he's at a party. I appreciate the call back, but I couldn't hear anything he was saying. Live internet, you got to love War Chant wrap-up. You'll never know.
I'm going to tell you something. You know why he called you, right? Because, I'm going to get on his ass. I'm going to get on his ass when I talk to him. That's the reason. That was a courtesy call. So, yeah, he better have called in.
He called, and all I heard was people partying their ass off.
Yeah, that's Billy.
I heard him say, Shaggy. I didn't know if he was inviting me to the party or not, but
maybe so, man. Yeah, he probably going Mach 5 right now, knowing Bill. So yeah.
How much you think he's drank?
What? Okay. Hey, hold on. You see this glass of wine right here I got? He's probably on this 27th or 28th glass of wine right now. That's how Bill get down, man. So yeah. I'm quite sure he ain't been, he ain't been to Kansas City in a while, and he's celebrating with the Chief fans, and he's a good guy, man. He really is.
I greatly appreciate you calling, Billy, but I couldn't hear you with all the people in the background. Let's get back to where we were. Kurt Thacker said Troy can suck it. I remember him down talking Pat back in the day, which we just addressed, saying he only has one Super Bowl when people said Pat was already better than he
That's
was.
crazy.
Yes, we talked about it. Yes, Kurt Thacker, Mahomes did tie Montana today. You got to know Joe Montana, Harvey. You got to know his demeanor and what he's about in the locker room. With what you see of Patrick, how if somebody said, Harvey, compare Joe Montana to Patrick Mahomes, how would you do that?
Man, I watched Montana when I was a kid, and Montana floated into the locker room, man. You watched him, how he commanded, how he was a Super Bowl champ, and he's Joe Montana. He's the Joe Montana. But this kid right here, man, this is a whole nother level. Mahomes to me is like an alien with some stuff we've never seen. He's from another world, man. I can't keep it no more than, for me to be blowing, smoke for a guy, because it takes a lot to impress me. He's the real deal Holyfield, man. And it's going to be a long time before you see another one like that, man. Right. It's going to be a long time.
John Harrison chimes in again and says, I told Lance and Trevor this morning on the Spoke and Chiefs pregame, everybody was talking about the Texans D-line against the offense. It was the Chiefs D-line against their O-line that would be the difference. And you know what, John? You're absolutely right. They got after today. Whatever Spagnuolo dialed up, it worked. Terry Ogden asked a question, was really important on my Facebook. She said, where was DeAndre Hopkins this game? We definitely we're going to.
Was he in the game?
He only got targeted, I think, once, and it was incomplete. I haven't looked at the stats. We're going to get to the stats here in just a second and look at everything. But let's look at the pictures. Well, let's look at the stats first. Patrick Mahomes was 16 of 25 for 177 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. That's a pretty average day. That's not ideal Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, but you got the win, enough said.
Right.
Kareem Hunt was 8 carries for 44 yards, 1 touchdown, huge. That's what you want to see. He was the man in the fourth quarter when we said, okay, we got an 8-point lead. Let's run some clock. They did that with Kareem Hunt. Joe Pendry's offense would be proud, including Harvey. You're probably proud of that run too, weren't you?
Yeah, yes, I was.
Isaiah Pacheco had 5 for 18. Patrick Mahomes was next for 7 for 14. And there's the receivers on the right side here. Travis Kelce had 7 for 117 and a touchdown. Xavier Worthy, 5 for 45. Noah Gray, 3 for 13. Kareem Hunt, 1 for 2. The Chiefs have got to open it up against Baltimore or Buffalo next Sunday night at 5:30 Central Time in front of the world. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're going to hear a lot of experts, Harvey, starting tomorrow on pregame of football, as well as the rest of the week, that the Chiefs are beatable. This is the team to beat. They probably won't be favored by much next Sunday because of the way they played. Harvey, when you look at these stats, tell me your approval and tell me your concerns.
Man, I don't have any. It's like this, Shaggy. I just think we're going to do whatever we need to do to make the adjustments, whoever we're going to play against, to make the adjustments to win the game to get the W. So, I mean, it's like, is it pretty? No. We do enough just to win. And, at the end of the day, man, it's about getting that hardware. It's about, hoisting that trophy up over your head. If we were stuck on stats right now, no, we probably wouldn't even make the playoff if just looking at these stats. I mean, Kelce did his thing. He was open today. I don't see Brown didn't get a catch. Pacheco didn't do anything today. So, but we still got the W. So you got to look at it like that. So that's how I take it. Make some adjustments, do what we need to do to win the game, and now you lose the game, you go home. So my thing is what they're doing right now. They just do just enough to win the game and get the W and get on down the road. So that's how I look at it.
Right. Okay, let's look at these defensive stats that I got here. Justin Reed was a leading tackler with 5, blocked a freaking awesome field goal.
Yeah.
I thought he was offsides. I thought when it happened, I thought, man, he's offsides.
Yeah, I did too.
He read the Texans long snapper perfectly. But let's get to sacks. George Karlaftis had 3 sacks. He gets this game ball. Yes, Mahomes. Mahomes went to the 7th straight AFC Championship game, but George Karlaftis was the man. The Chiefs, a lot of Chiefs people were unhappy when they traded Tyreek Hill 2.5 years ago. But you know who the Chiefs got in return? They traded a number 1 draft pick for Trent McDuffie. So they had Trent McDuffie for Tyreek Hill. You know what? So they used their only number 1 draft pick for George Karlaftis. So in that one draft alone, the Chiefs got a shutdown corner in the Tyreek Hill trade, stayed at 28 and picked up George Karlaftis. So now that defense is built because of that Tyreek Hill trade.
Yeah, man. That defense look to me. The defense. Hold on, you passing out game balls. Hold on.
I'm listening.
Here's my game ball for the defense, man. So that's if they can keep that energy like they did today, because if we got to play against Josh Allen next week or King Henry, they're gonna have to keep that same energy and come up and tackle, because I'd rather us play the Bills than Baltimore. Baltimore scares me. And I think, with a shootout between Josh Allen and them Bills, I think Mahomes is up for the test. I think the whole team is up for the test. And, the road to the Super Bowl, I would say us against the Bills. Baltimore scares me. I wouldn't want to play against Baltimore.
Jamari Connor had 1 sack, back with the stats. Omenahu had 1 sack. Felix and Udike Uzama, the 2023 number 1 draft pick, had a sack. Chris Jones had 1 sack. Trashard Wharton had 1 sack. Man, Spags had this guy ready to shine. And McCole Hardman missed the game with an injury. Nico Remigio, his replacement, had a great kickoff return. What did you think about his kickoff return the start of the game?
Oh, I thought that was going to the house, and then he did something and then fumbled the ball, and I threw up all my spaghetti in my living room, and I thought the Texans got it. I was just like, man, hold on to the ball, bro. But it was an excellent run. I thought he took that one all the way back to the house. That was very exciting to open up the game, set the tempo for the game, and off to the race.
Right. Okay, let's get this comment here. Kenneth Caldwell has asked, did that safety make any sense to you? I think the only way, what I'll say, and Harvey, I want you to answer too, I think they wanted to run clock off, and they wanted to be able to kick off from the 20 rather than punt. I mean, there was 16 seconds. If they punted from where they're at, I guess they could have been in field goal range quicker and tried a field goal onside kick. So they tried to run clock by doing that to kill time.
That's what that move is about, Shaggy. Just to run some clock off, and by the time they get the ball, the game is over with. So they're down 2 scores by then. So people always do that. I never understood it when I was young. Why they at the end of the game, why they running out the back of the end zone? But that's to run the time off the clock. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember Joe Flacco did it at the end of the Super Bowl in January 2013. And I remember John Elway did it after the Ernest Biner fumble. After the Ernest Biner fumble in January of 1988, the Broncos were up by 7 with 1 minute left. And I think they ran a couple plays, and it got to be 4th down, and there was like 30 seconds left. And John Elway ran out of the back of the end zone for a safety. John Harrison chimes in and says the Texans are going to be trouble next year. If you look at their defense, they have a lot of young, talented players all over. In my opinion, they have a better defense than Buffalo or Baltimore. That is a loaded young team. Harvey, you're down there. You're around a lot of Texan fans, and you know what it's like for how they're feeling. Would you say it's a fair assessment by John Harrison about Houston?
Yeah. We don't have any offense, man. As great as that young coach is, and the quarterback, he's young. The defense makes that team, and they got to get some offensive weapons. They had a lot of guys that got hurt this year. Tank Dell was one of them that they were pretty hanging their hat on, and I think he got hurt playing against us in Kansas City. Yeah, and Diggs is out. So their whole thing is down here on the radio. We still gonna kick Kansas City ass, even though we don't have all the offensive weapons. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever, bro. And came down here and got blowed out. So they're gonna have to do a rebuild on the offensive line this coming year. Probably get some more, add some more depth at skill position guys over here on the offense. But their defense is solid. And DeMeco Ryans is a hell of a defensive coach. So being the head coach and still call it defense, man, that says a lot.
Right. Well, when you got to see Arrowhead today on your television set, how did it look to you, Harvey?
Looks different, man. Especially from the air. I remember, coming in, coming for the games, that little road that was in front of the stadium. I go back to memory lane and just, think about, driving to Arrowhead and, got the music playing and, played in a couple of playoff games. So I know what that feeling is. It's very exciting. And, and the Chief fans do it better than anybody, man. The only thing I think that comes close, I went to LSU, so that's the only thing I think, a college campus that comes close to Arrowhead, Kansas City, because they be off the chain and they solidified, solid fans, and they love their football team.
The reason why I ask, Harvey, is because you played in the first playoff game at Arrowhead Stadium, December 28th, 1991, your rookie season. I was there. It was a new experience. It was the 1991 when the Chiefs played a playoff game at Arrowhead Stadium that very first year. That set the precedent of where we are now. This started, and I've told our viewers that 1,000 times, and it's important to remember. 1991 was a springboard for where we are right now. Harvey, you missed the last game of the 1991 season with a eye injury.
Yes.
From what you remember about your eye injury, as well as you're knowing, hey, I'm a rookie. This is Arrowhead Stadium's first ever home playoff game in franchise history. How was your eye that morning going to the stadium? Did you drive? And what was the atmosphere like in the parking lot?
Man, it was
experience, but because I want our fans to know what it's like as a Chiefs running back coming to Arrowhead on playoff Sunday.
You feel like a rock star, man. And I'm a Michael Jackson fan, and I used to always want to feel like how did he feel, dancing in front of 80,000, 100,000 people, and playing at Arrowhead was I understand that feeling, and it's just you're driving to the stadium, the hair on your arms are actually standing up. You like full of energy, electricity, and the smells and the people tailgating, and you driving, and everybody recognize your cars, and everybody trying to get you to sign autographs. It's amazing, man. If everybody on planet Earth could to feel that and experience that, I mean, before you die, man, that'd be on your bucket list to be able to, driving at Arrowhead and knowing you get ready to play on that, on that football field. And, back then we played on turf. So, I think my first playoff game, I think was against the Raiders. I had that, the shield on my helmet, and I was ready to play. And I think Marty played me like one or two plays in the game. I don't remember, but very exciting. It just the temperature is 3,000 degrees, and it just, in that stadium, and it feels like the only thing I can explain to it, Shaggy, is to an airplane, like when an airplane revs up its engines and you're sitting right there by the engine. That's what it feels like on the football field. That's what it sounds like to a football player. It sounds like an airplane engine.
Well, you talked about your eye injury about 3 weeks ago on our show.
Mm-hmm.
What was your eye injury again against the 49ers? Because it was right before the last game of the season. What happened on your eye injury?
Ran the ball. I think it was a little dive play, and I was on the ground, got tackled, and I was getting ready to get up. I don't know if you remember the guy, Michael Carter.
Okay.
Tackle,
isn't he?
Yeah, he was big old. He weighed like 300 pounds, bench press like 1,000, and I was laying on the ground. He kicked through my face mask and broke my orbital.
Okay, I'm sorry. Was he trying to? Was it a malicious intent, or was he just trying to get up?
Man, I don't know. Back then people, was very dirty. I don't know what it was. I just, when I was laying on the ground, he's walking by. Next thing I know, his cleat is inside my face mask, and I just felt my, my face disintegrate, and I felt my eye like drop down, like I thought it fell out. So I'm running to the sidelines. They had to take part of my rib bone to build this side of my face back up to, that orbit bone right there, and I was out for, I don't know, about a month. But it took me a long time to get my eye back together. And I remember riding on the back of that airplane going back to Kansas City, man. I remember it's the worst pain I've ever felt And I was throwing up the whole time, because every little turbulence or a bump or somebody was talking too loud, I was just holding my eye the whole time. And I think I cried the whole way back to Kansas City. That's how much pain I was. A grown ass man. I was back there sobbing, man, because my vision was kind of like it's hard to explain. Like it wasn't blurry, but my eye was like shooting off to one side because it had dropped down. So
could you see out of it, or was it just like
no, like it's
what
like
did you eyeball? Or what did you use your eyeball if it was
like that your cheekbone?
Yeah,
that got crushed. So that will hold your eye up. So this broke and my eye came down. So they had to build this. They had to build this back up with part of my rib from my rib.
You came back 3 weeks later and you played in that game. You had a big block and protect.
Man, you got a great memory, bro.
Yeah. And dude, when you came to the sidelines, Derek Thomas gave you a pat on the head, and Todd McNair gave you a pat on the head, and even Brent Musburger and Dick Vermeil said that was a great block by Harvey Williams, and you were wearing the face shield.
Got that shield on,
yeah. So how do you get up for a playoff game when you're in the state where you just had your eye you had a rib bone taken to replace your eye bone underneath to get all that fixed? How do you mentally put all that in the background and get ready for a playoff game?
Young, man. Young. It was exciting. I wanted to play, and I was that first round draft choice. I wanted to show the world what I was capable of doing. I think in the Buffalo game, in the playoff game, I had one run for 20 yards, and he immediately took me out the game. And I was just like, I'm hyped up, ready to go. And I don't know what Marty's deal was, but I would, if they'd have shot me and took my heart out, I still want to play in the game and go play football. That's what God, blessed me with a lot of talent to go play football. And it's my livelihood. It's what I love to do, and I want to play. So they could have, I could have went blind in both eyes. I still would try to play in the game. So yeah. That's my mentality. So
dude, hell yeah, it is. And I'm going to bring a video on here next week of you body slamming that Steelers cornerback.
Hey, I saw that, man. I tried to tell my kids. I tried to tell one of my kids. I was playing against the Steelers, and the guy came on a blitz. I said, "You want to see how somebody pick up a blitz? You have to see it. You found it, but once you see it, it's unbelievable. It's like, man, that's like a cartoon. It don't happen."
I'll bring it in next week. Let's get to some of our viewers. John Harrison chimes in again, said, I've seen the LSU locker room. That thing is nicer than all NFL locker rooms. There are some big booster money in that thing. Is it nice when you were down there, Harvey?
Yeah, it was pretty nice, man. They took care of us, and it didn't look like what it looked like now, but we had nice facilities when I was at LSU. They took really good care of us.
Right. Okay. Let's get to more of these pictures. Okay, let's look at the picture real quick. Chris Jones had a big sack like we talked about, and Travis Kelce was playoff Kelce today. We showing you the stats earlier. Over 100 yards, a big touchdown. What'd you think about him standing over Oz Azir after he caught that ball? Like, you remember that stand?
I thought that was so gangster. And then I knew he was gonna go off anyway because his girlfriend was sitting in the stands. So that gave him added fuel to do what he did today. And I just I love that dude, man. He's a future Hall of Famer. When his time is up, it's gonna be hard to fill them shoes right there. But to me, it's Noah Gray. I think he'd probably take over after Kelce retires. But he's still doing his thing. He looks good. He finds all the holes in the defense. He knows exactly. Him and Mahomes are like twins, and they know each other's game, and it's gonna be hard to beat both of those guys when they clicking on all cylinders.
Right. And of course, Kareem had the touchdown. We talked about his game today, especially in the fourth quarter. Last thing we want to touch about the Texans is Joe Mixon. He was injured all week, and I know you liked him a lot. You had him in fantasy, which you went to the Super Bowl with him. What do you think about Joe Mixon's game today as well? He battled that injury. What did you think about Joe Mixon, Harvey?
Man, I think Joe Mixon, I like his game. I like the way he carries himself on the football field. He runs hard. He's fast. He's elusive when he needs to be. He knows how to get 10 yards and get down, or he knows how to run over you. So he got all he checked all the boxes when it comes to a big time NFL running back. And I'll put him up there with the elite with Saquon and King Henry. He's right there on that level. Probably just just a one tier a little lower, but he could play for me any day, and I really like his game along with Kamara. They remind me of they're like the same, cut from that same cloth.
Right. And Kamari Fairbairn obviously didn't like kicking to the east side of the field. He missed badly on a 55-yard field goal as well as an extra point. That wind was swirling. The temperatures dropped about 25 degrees throughout the day, and it showed a good Kamari Fairbairn's a solid kicker, but let's be honest, he kicks 8 or 9 regular season games in a dome.
Right.
So it showed today that wind wasn't fun if you're kicking to the east side of the field. And there's how about Mahomes, dude? Mahomes was falling down. 3rd and 11 at the 3rd and 10 it was 3rd and goal at the 11. Mahomes is going down. Do we need more Mahomes highlight reels?
When he threw the ball, I said no, because I thought it was gonna be picked off. I just knew it was gonna be picked off. And his boy was sitting right there, like they was threw a slice of bread to him, and he caught it right there in the end zone. But I definitely thought that was a pick.
So I was concerned as well.
Yeah, I screamed like no.
Beautiful.
Yeah, stud, man.
All right. Let's get to Harvey's hip hip hooray for today's Kansas City Chiefs playoff victory. What's your hip hip hooray today, buddy?
The defense, man. They kicked their ass up front. They they whooped the Texans offensive line like they stole something, and just a good old fashioned ass whooping. And I can't imagine what that plane ride is coming back to Houston. And I know it's gonna be quiet on the plane because they really didn't show up today on that offensive line. So a lot of heads gonna turn. I can't imagine what they're gonna be saying on the radio stations. 102 and around here they're gonna be crying and the whole nine, and we'll get them next year. And we got a couple of bad calls. During the game with the whole thing with Mahomes and they both the personal fouls. So I know what the radio station is going to be saying tomorrow morning. But they got their asses whooped handily. So no, just got beat down, man, by a good football team.
The Texans are 22 and a half years into the league.
Yeah.
I know we had a little rivalry with the Oilers. Do you think the Texans hate us?
Of course, everybody hate Kansas City, man. I mean, you defend champs, shit. I mean, like everybody hate Kansas City, man. I live here in Houston. They hate Kansas City. They hate Kansas City, huh?
When you go out in your Chiefs hat, do they give you a hard time?
Go out with my what?
Chiefs hat.
Hey, I got my Kansas City. I wear some of my Kansas City gear, man. I represent for real.
They don't give you a hard time. They don't give you a hard time.
Man. I'm a knockout artist, so I ain't got to worry about all that. So I ain't got to worry about nobody bullying me. So yeah, I wear my gear, and So no, but they hate Kansas City around here. They especially hate Kansas City if we won another Super Bowl. So yeah.
Right. Well, John Harrison's got one more question. Did you guys think that Schultz catch was a catch? It looked like it was sliding down his hip. What did you think about that? Did you see enough to overturn that?
Yeah. I thought it was a hell of a catch, man. I mean, if you really think about it, man, he caught the ball and he pinned it up against him. And watching it the first one, it actually happened in regular motion. I thought the ball actually moved, but if you go back and watch it in the slow motion, it never moved. It was a hell of a catch. Right. So I mean, but guess what? All that don't mean nothing because they lost. Means nothing.
Heck yeah. Oh, man. And my brother Tony was at the game in Section 110. My brother Tony played semi-pro with your brother Daryl.
Right.
He was at the game. He had a great time. And all right, we got to look at this. What's Harvey's hell nah from today's Kansas City Chiefs playoff victory?
Nothing illegal about it. His head's in front. Bang! Down he goes. Now look at.
What was the hell nah today?
Man, there's 3 guys got my hell nah today. D-Hop, Hollywood Brown, and Pacheco, man. Them guys.
Man, nothing.
I mean, D-Hop didn't catch a pass. I don't think did Hollywood Brown catch a pass?
I don't think so. Let's go back.
No, we can't do that, man. So I'm gonna still say, I love Pacheco, bro, but I just think that Hunt needs to be starting. I really do.
No Hollywood Brown, no DeAndre Hopkins. That is
Yeah, they won't be able to get away with that next week, whoever they playing. Them guys gonna have to get that. They're gonna have to get those guys. Mahomes gonna have to be a point guard next week and get those guys the ball, man, because we got the weapons to do it on offense. And they're gonna have to, because they're gonna be, Buffalo and Baltimore. They got really two good physical football teams. So we can't rely on Holmes to be running around out, like a chicken with his head cut, because they're gonna be trying to kill him. So we gotta get those guys up. The game plan got to get those guys the football.
Tara Pearson said Hollywood Brown had an incomplete pass, and that is it.
That's it. Yeah. Wow.
Man, it has to be better. They have to be fluent. We have to use our weapons to look like a team that's going to be ready. All right, Harvey. Tomorrow's predictions. Baltimore Ravens are going to Rich Stadium to play the Buffalo Bills. It's Lamar Jackson against Josh Allen. Harvey, you were with the Chiefs twice. We went to Buffalo. You know what the game's about in January in the playoffs. I'm going with Buffalo. I see them. They steamrolled the Broncos, and I honestly think Buffalo's going to blow them out 31-10.
You think so?
I've seen Buffalo, unless they're playing the Chiefs in the playoffs last year. I've seen Buffalo just do things impressively. I mean, I just like Buffalo by 21 tomorrow. Tell me who you like and why.
Man, I'm taking Baltimore, and the reason why I say I'm taking Baltimore because Lamar gonna have a chip on his shoulder because of the MVP of the league, so he gonna have something. He gonna be the guy that he's competing with is gonna be on the other side of the field, and with that monster ass running back they got there, man, it's gonna be a close game. I really do believe that, Shaggy, and I want Buffalo to win because I think we match up better against Buffalo than we do Baltimore. Because our run defense is a little suspect, and I think if you get that dude that's 235 pounds, get him running downhill, that's gonna be scary. I wouldn't want to even tackle him with my Escalade, so I wouldn't even run my Escalade into him. So I'll be getting my ass out the way. I'll be on the side of the road, man. I wouldn't want to tackle that dude. Would you want to tackle him?
No. So,
no, I wouldn't even. Yeah.
Especially if you won't even if you're driving your Escalade and he's there coming at you on foot.
And guess what? And he ain't ducking or dodging. It's almost like when he runs, he dares you to get in front of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and like a couple of games we look kind of suspect with our run defense, and I just think we match up better against Buffalo. I'd rather Josh Allen to be running the ball than Lamar and Henry, if that makes sense.
I think that's I'm just gonna sit back, relax, and enjoy it. The only reason, like I said,
you gonna relax. Who you want? Who do you want us to play against?
I honestly don't care because it's here at Arrowhead. But
Shaggy, stop, Shaggy, stop that, Shaggy, Mr. Williams, stop. You really want to see Baltimore?
I want to see Buffalo.
Yeah, I want to see Buffalo too.
There's that freaking magic, man.
I don't want to see them dudes. Huh?
In 1991, you guys went up there. You just kicked their ass on Monday Night Football 2 months earlier, and it just got up there. And it was close in the first quarter, but then Buffalo got that momentum. And it seems like once Buffalo gets that momentum, and we saw it last week against Denver, once Buffalo gets that momentum, even if they were down 7-0 against Denver, once they get that momentum, it just steamrolls.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. When Josh Allen starts running the football, that's when everything starts. They take it to a whole nother level, man. If you can stop him from getting them big runs when he starts scrambling around, he runs like he runs like an average running back, but he runs hard. So I'm gonna say it again. I'd rather us play Buffalo than Baltimore.
Okay, we're gonna let a Texans fan on here. Jesse Gonzalez says cheating Chiefs.
I told you.
Yeah. And then he says Chiefs refs playbook. Jesse Gonzalez. Thank you for joining the show, Jesse. We have Texans, nothing but a bunch. Good luck next season. Last thing I'll say about Josh Allen, and then we'll wrap up this awesome show. Did you find that odd that head official went up to Josh Allen after it was their second drive? Bills are up 7-3. He throws an incomplete pass in the end zone. Josh Allen does, and now they're going to have to kick a field goal to go up 10-7.
What you talking about last week?
Yeah, let's go back last week. Let me get it right.
Okay.
Let me get this right. The Bills were up 10-7. No, they were down 7-0, and they had to settle for a field goal. Josh Allen throws a pass into the end zone, and it's incomplete. And they're saying, "Oh, that's defensive holding." And they looked at the replay, and Tony Romo said, "Yeah, the ref could have called defensive holding." Anything. And so the next time we see the camera when it comes to live action, it's a field goal by the kicker. So now it's 7-3. And Josh Allen was like "Hey, you missed a holding." He was yelling into the end zone. They come back from commercial break. They show the official. He went all the way up to Josh Allen, who's now sitting on the bench, and he's tapping Josh Allen, and he's going like this. And he gives him a little pat on the head. And he walks away. It's all over Twitter. And it's just kind of like, wait a minute, that's not a good look. Maybe it's nothing. But Harvey, has there ever been a time when you play for the Chiefs and the Raiders that a ref came up to say anything to Joe Montana, Dave Craig, Steve DeBerg, Jeff Hostetler, Shane, whatever his name is, or any Vince Evans to say, you know what, hey, we missed it. It's going to be okay. Has
No,
a ref
never.
come into your sideline while you're sitting on the bench to tell one of your quarterbacks that was bitching about a call, hey, it's okay?
No, I've never heard of that. I've never even seen it. You couldn't even write that in a movie script. It wouldn't be non-believable. So he actually walked to the sideline and rubbed on him and told him everything's going to be okay.
Yeah,
I didn't. I missed that. I didn't see that. I'm gonna look that up. But I've never heard of that ever happening ever, because they really don't care what about what you think about the calls that they make, because they get a lot of flack and a lot of noise if they make a bad call, Shaggy, from New York. They get their asses shredded to pieces if they make a obvious wrong call and the whole country's watching. So so yeah.
So would you say it's safe to say that the Chiefs don't have the refs the playbook?
So
What would you tell that guy?
I can't wait. It's gonna be like tomorrow, man.
Oh,
so
man.
I'll tell them stop crying. That ain't had nothing to do with it. They play. The Texans played bad today, man, and they not ready. They not on that level yet. I'm gonna say it again. Young coach, young quarterback. Maybe in about 3 or 4 years they'd be ready, but they're not ready right now. So stop whining, stop crying.
He's getting mad that we're talking to him. Now he says homeless dude got a podcast. Well,
who homeless?
I know.
Who he said homeless dude? Who are you talking about?
I don't know. He's got to be talking about me. I mean, look, I got
homeless.
3 bathrooms. I'm good,
bro. I got a Rolls Royce sitting in my garage, man. So I'm not homeless. So stop.
Okay, let's go back to the final comment from John Harrison. Maybe Buffalo will win, but Allen will get hurt in the fourth quarter. Nothing horrible, but keep his ass out all week. Keep him out. I mean, that's wishful thinking. But
yeah.
I think before we get out here, I think it's safe to say that the Chiefs are going to have to use Hollywood Brown and show that, hey, we're going to pass the ball to Hollywood Brown. We are going to have to get DeAndre Hopkins available. He's DeAndre freaking Hopkins, man. He's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame, but if you get him in the freaking he'll be getting in the Hall of Fame a lot faster if he gets himself a Super Bowl ring. But
you know what, Shaker? You got a lot of offensive coordinators that call plays and they see that they top guys are not getting the ball. They make an effort to get the ball to the guy 3 or 4 times or 5 times during the game. They make a effort to D Hop or Hollywood Brown hasn't caught the ball in the first half, and the first thing they do, they walk up and say, "Hey man, I'm gonna try to get the ball to you in the second half." So for both of those guys not to touch the ball the whole game that's crazy. That's incredible, because we're gonna need those guys down the stretch, man. And the AFC Championship starting next week.
Okay, yes, you got Baltimore. I got Buffalo. We'd like to thank Billy Jones for making an attempt to join the show. He wanted to join the show, but he's here in Kansas City partying his ass off.
I'm putting him on probation, man. I'm putting him in timeout. So yeah.
He called me from the party. I heard it. It was loud, but I couldn't get the audio in here. And he yelled, "Shaggy!" I don't know if he was inviting me to the party or trying to get hooked up onto the show, but he was partying, having his time of his life, enjoying the Chiefs playoff victory. And for the 7th year in a row, every year as a starting quarterback, 29-year-old Patrick Mahomes has taken the Kansas City Chiefs to the AFC Championship game. Before Patrick Mahomes took the Chiefs to an AFC Championship game, the only 2 quarterbacks that took the Chiefs to the AFC Championship game in franchise history was Lynn Dawson in 1966 and in 1969. He took the Chiefs to AFC Championship game and 2 Super Bowls where he went 1-1. The second quarterback to take the Chiefs to the AFC Championship game was Joe Montana. We went 26 years between 1993 and 2019. And since then, Patrick Mahomes has now taken us to 7. Let's embrace this moment.
Yes.
Let's embrace this moment. 7 straight AFC Championship games. His first 7 years in a row. I'm going to beat that stat like a dead horse because it is, like I said, the quote of the show, unfreaking precedented.
It probably never happened again, Shaggy. That's how special this is, man. So that's crazy.
Yeah. Just know I'm just here being a quarterback. And I'm just going to take the team to 7 straight AFC Championship games. And John Harrison says, when someone says refs cheat for the Chiefs, it means they're a poor sport and they're mad that their team sucks and lost. I love John Harrison, our statistician.
Yeah, he sounds like a coach, man.
I love John Harrison, the man for show. Props again to Starcade Media for giving the spoken with Lance Twidwell and Trevor Twidwell the pregame, and props to Starcade for giving me and Harvey the postgame.
The two homeless dudes.
Yeah, we're the 2 homeless dudes. Harvey, you're with those Texans fans down in Houston, so you got to deal with them, man. I hope they're not going to come and die by your drive.
No, man.
I hope they're not going to be beating on your door.
No, they ain't gonna do that. No, I got too many uncles and cousins that live around me. That's crazy. So that's not gonna happen.
Well, if Jesse Gonzalez comes over, good luck with him, buddy. And I'm sorry you got to deal with that in Houston. We'll be back next Sunday immediately after the Chiefs Bills or the Chiefs Ravens. Harvey's got Baltimore tomorrow night. I got Buffalo. Harvey, I love you, buddy.
I love you too, man.
And we'll see you all worldwide again next Sunday night. Let's do it. It's for the Super Bowl. It's for the Super Bowl next Sunday night.
Next Sunday night, yep.
Harvey Williams and Shaggy Shane, and we'll wrap this freaking sucker up. Until then,
let's get it.
Go Chiefs.
Chiefs.